Hello friends, neighbors, John your Whiskey neighbor here, and happy Robbie Burns night. I know for those over in Scotland, you're probably long in bed or farther into the celebrations, but it is Robbie Burns Day out here in Canada, and I want to toast the bard as well. And so I thought, let's obviously it's got to be a Scotch, and I was just listening to a good friend over at Whisky Wars, lots of good history there. And he said again, Robbie Burns spent most of his life in lowlands, so you should open up a lowland Scotch. And I thought, I don't have any lowland Scotch, but I do. Lochlea, I think, is considered lowland, and if I'm wrong about that, I'm sure the comments will fly. Either way, it's a Scotch, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to open this up with you, and I seem to have a problem with plastic around bottles, but if you have any Scotch at all, tonight is the night to open it up. Tonight is the night to think of Scotland, think of Scotch, and for sure, think of their national poet, Robbie Burns. So I'll share my thoughts if you stay with me through the break, but right off the bat, a toast to your health, a toast to Robbie Burns. 3, 4. Well, thanks for coming back, and I would like to talk a bit about Scotch. I would give more history about Robbie Burns or Robert Burns, but I really don't know more than an incredible superficial amount. I did mention Whisky Wars in the opening, and he actually went through, unique facts you didn't know and a bit of the history. For me, I know him as a poet. I've read some of his works. The only thing I've ever sung along to was Auld Lang Syne. After that, I know if we're doing a Robbie Burns night, we should be doing a toast to Haggis, or the Haggis, I'm not sure, and enjoying, what's the word for potatoes and turnips, neeps and tatters or something like that. I hope you're having a fantastic feast like that. For me, my feast tonight will have to be some Scotch. And I've talked to you about Lochlea before. I think it's an exciting newer distillery. I think going to their website, looking at their transparency, seeing the work that they're doing is exactly what I hope to find in Scotch. Just that clear craft, clear care, natural color, non-chill filter. Hey, what are the casks involved? What are the ratios? That kind of thing. This is our barley. So my understanding is it's actually barley grown either on their farms or near their farm. I think it's on their farm. And it's got a number of casks in here. If I recall, and I have had a taste but never had a bottle, this was on a phenomenal sale. Like truly, if you're in the Edmonton area and you want to try this bottle of Lochlea, you got to run over to what's the store beside the Italian store just outside of West Ed? I'm blanking. I'll maybe put it down below if I have the time. But they just look for a liquor store around West Ed, and they have this on like $40 off. I think it's at least $40 off. It's a crazy sale. So just a great idea. If you like a little bit younger Scotch, definitely younger. This one is matured in ex-bourbon. I believe it's an SDR cask and then an Oloroso cask. So there's a fair amount of different casting going on. Natural color, non-chill filter, 46%. All the good things in Scotch. So I've already toasted the bard. Now I toast you. Let's see what's in here. I got all kinds of things tumbling around for me. I've definitely got some Oloroso, some maybe leathered fruits, but dried fruits and riper fruits, red fruits. But then right away I was getting some oak. A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of sweetness in there, and then some oak backing already, a little bit of that essence of a good casking coming through. Some sweet fruits, light stone fruit almost in there. So light stone, orchard, but more stone, like really a sweet. And then there is a backing of some dried fruits, some older fruits, and a fair amount of oak. Let's see how she turns out in the palate. Sláinte. Some of that core fruit comes through, a little bit of spicing and lots of oak, but it took a turn in the palate. In fact, I don't know if you saw the surprise on my face, because the nose was really quite sweet, and I was expecting the arrival to be so. A little light, a little sweet. It was far more savory. almost a little bitter. Better take another sip. Cheers. Very interesting. I had this in a sample only in a bit of a flight from Lochlea, and I thought it was sweeter and lighter. This right now is savory, darker, spicy, slightly bitter. But I'm actually really quite surprised. In fact, so surprised, I'm going to compare it to another Lochlea that I have, and I wasn't planning on doing that. So my apologies for not being set up, but I thought, well, this one is their Harvest Edition, which has port sherry and bourbon, doesn't have the STR. Same things, right? 46%, natural color, non-chill filter. But this one might give me a bit of a comparison just to see what's going on here, because I thought I actually liked it a little bit more than how it's going down tonight. That's interesting. That is a little, maybe. I am going to say a little more raisin in there. Yeah, this is a little grainy now, a little spicy, a little more hay kicking around in there. Yeah, this one definitely has, whether it's that port influence or whatnot, but this one is a little darker in the fruits. Try it on the palate. Sláinte. Okay, maybe that's unfair because this bottle has definitely been open for many months at half. Like, it's got lots of air interaction. I just opened this right here once I got through the plastic. And maybe this needs to open up. Right now, it's a little tight. It's a little bitter. Still a good Scotch. And being a little too negative, I thought I was going to run away in love with it because I remember really quite liking that sample. In this direct comparison, this bottle's long open. This has a little more layering, a little more fruit, and a little length in the palate, and a little even in the finish that I think I'm actually liking a little bit more than the R Barley. But I'm still super glad that I have this here. The point of tonight was actually just to cheer the bard. And I'm not going to sing Lo Lang Syne with you, but I just wanted to say I hope you're having a great night. I hope if you're with friends that you are having a little haggis or having a little turnip and potatoes and having a good supper. And wherever you are, certainly if you enjoy Scotch, tonight is the night to pour yourself a nice dram, to relax, to think great thoughts of Scotland, and to recall, if in any way you can, their most famous poet, I would suggest. Anyways, thanks again. Thanks for joining me. Happy Robbie Burns night.